Sam Howell showed up, showed out, showed off. Monday Night Football looked like the offense fit him pretty darn well.
Yeah.
Looked like Eric Bieniemy had a good feel for what his skill set is. Actually, the only mistake, the only thing, right? Could anything have gone better for Sam Howell? The only thing that I think was maybe mishandled is I think he played too long. I think we saw enough much earlier than halftime. Right? I've seen enough. We're done. Right? It's the moment in the audition where the casting director's like, no, I don't think we need to see the end of the scene. You got the part. I don't think it needed a full half of action. 15 opening play drive, stalls on the 3-yard line, you get a field goal. That's kind of plenty for me. It's like, all right, we saw it. There's some things to work on, but we're good. You've done what you needed to do. Sam Howell also ran twice on that drive, so I would have seen that and been like, hey, guess what, buddy?
You could stop that.
Let's relax on that, right? Terry McLaurin got hurt on the second drive, which means, a little turf toe action. I can go back in 2020 hindsight, say all the starters should have been out after the first drive. Why was McLaurin in there risking things? But if you're going to play him, if they decided it was going to be a half, they needed to see a half, they wanted to beat the Ravens, they wanted Josh Harris to get a win in his first home game, even though it was a preseason game. If that was the decision, could not have gone much better. Right, he looked the way you wanted him to look. 19 of 25, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Did take the 2 sacks. Don't love that. But that's a pretty darn good day. Sam Howell on his own performance in his first game after being named the starter for Week 1 coming up in a few weeks.
I thought it was all right. It was. I think the main thing was just a lot of fun, and it was a good team win. I think we're really starting to become a team. And there's a lot of good things out there tonight. It was a lot of fun to be a part of. I just think offensively, I think we did some good things, put some good drives together. Obviously, there's some stuff to clean up, some sacks. Both, I don't know how many sacks we had, maybe 2, I think, and they were both my fault. So I got to do a better job with that stuff. We'll clean it up, but we made some plays. A lot of guys made some plays, and we got a good work out of 2-minute drill, which was successful for us. There's a lot of good that came out of tonight.
If that's all right, I want to see what really good looks like. Remember, this is a half of football. Those stats I gave you were for one half, which means, right, this is the basic math that I can do. Mm-hmm. If you just take all the stats and multiply them by 2, that would be the pace for a full game. 376 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
76% completion percentage, yeah.
It's all right. Yeah,
I mean, I'd settle for that. I
mean, I had a decent 2-minute drill there at the end. Yeah. Successful for us. Found my old college buddy, De'Ami Brown, in the end zone. I mean,
doing just fine.
The only thing you don't want to have kind of pace out to a full game is, don't want Terry McLaurin getting hurt twice. But everything else, if you just double me up and call it a full game, I'm with it. Ron Rivera on how his quarterback played in that Monday night preseason game.
I thought Sam did exactly what we were hoping him, expecting him to do. Went out, executed, took control of the offense, took control of the huddle, did a good job at the line of scrimmage. There are a couple things I know that he does want to have back, but I thought he executed and handled the situation, circumstances the way he needed to.
All of that is true. Looked the part, acted the part, kind of walked the part, talked the talk, walked the walk, all those sort of things. But do you know what I thought was most important? He made the Ravens pay for their mistakes, right? It's maybe one of the more underrated aspects, but it's the baseball of it, right? If a pitcher is out there throwing his best stuff, it's going to be hard to get an extra base hit. However, they might make one mistake in at bat. And if they hang a curve, if they leave something over the plate, you have to take advantage of it because you might not get another opportunity to see something that you can hit and put the barrel of the bat on. When the Ravens make a mistake, he had to take advantage of it, right? A defensive lineman got their hand on him, and he kind of stumbled back. Caught his balance, right? Got the ball back under complete control, rolled out to his right? Stayed on his feet, stayed alive, rolled out to his right, completed a nice ball down the sideline. That is the mark of a good quarterback. It's hard to beat a good defense in the NFL, right? Especially when they're a good defense playing things the right way. You have to make them pay when they make a mistake. If there's a blown coverage and you don't notice it, that's nothing but a wide receiver running down the middle of the field wide open, right? You have to when they blow a coverage, you have to go get that touchdown. You have to make them pay. If they get their hands on you in the pocket and don't bring you down, you have to make them pay, and he did. That's where Sam Howell is, and that's where Carolina fans have seen it, right? There's the spectacular, right, which are always welcome, and that's, you see Patrick Mahomes in the preseason like flirting with the line to see how spectacular he can get. He's jumping out of bounds, and while he's in midair trying to throw it back across his body, like those plays are great, but I'd much rather just know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the play that is there, the play that the defense opens the door for you on, you're going to walk through it. And that's not something that the Commanders have had a ton over the last 20 years. Right? There's been I tell the story. My first touchdown pass in college, I'll never forget, because I threw it to a childhood friend of mine, one of my brother's best friends growing up, so it was kind of cool. But it was a completely blown coverage. And while I was executing when I was writing out a play action fake, I heard the whole crowd go, like everybody was like, and as soon as I popped up out of my play action, my brain, right, you have those real quick thoughts like it's a car accident, right, where you're like flashing.
Oh, yeah.
My brain said, everybody else sees it, you better find it, right? They don't get excited like that in the middle of a play unless someone's open. And then I eventually found him. He was running a post down the middle of the field, wide open, like he smelled funny. And I tossed it out to him and touchdown, right? And that is not difficult as a quarterback to throw it to the wide open guy down the middle of the field. There is that moment, right, where it's like a pop fly or something to win the World Series, where I'm sure you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to catch it? Don't drop it. Like, you don't want to be the guy that misses the wide open wide receiver. But
yeah, don't airmail that.
Exactly. Or short it and give the defense a chance to catch back up. But like, that is part of it, right? When the guy's wide open, you just got to complete the pass. When the defense gets their hands on you in the pocket and somehow you stumble back, but you don't fall, right? So you're still alive. I mean, you save 4 yards if you throw it out of bounds. But if you go gash them for 20, that's the type of stuff that makes you an above average starter. And that's what we saw from Sam Howell last night, right? It was the poise, it was the kind of veteranship, the wily ability to find the mistake in the defense and take advantage of it. All of that is very, very good. And then on top of that, a couple of those throws that, again, Carolina fans have seen, where it's not a big window, but he's gonna fit it in, right? Bates, the tight end, caught one. Obviously, Diami in the end zone. There was a few of them. Gibson. Those are the plays that Sam Howell can make because he's physically gifted. It's the mental side that I was more impressed with, the staying calm. We talked about it a little bit with Bryce Young yesterday on the one where he fell down, right? When you fall down or you get knocked around and you're still able to stay, like low heart rate in the pocket, that's the mark of something good to come. We can teach you, meaning the coaches, they can teach you the playbook. They can teach you how to read defenses. It's very hard to teach someone to stay calm in a panic situation. Sam Howell showed that last night, and with it, the caveat, the sprinkling of salt over the top that it was the preseason, still got to get excited about what you see there.